How's it going, card fighters? Today, I want to take a look at the brand new Majesty Lord Blaster deck that came out. Today, I'm going to take an MLB alt mile list, or at least I think I made the alt mile list. No, I just built pure MLB. I'm going to take the MLB list that I just created last night, based heavily on the trial deck, but with a couple of cards of note from the next stage. And I want to play a couple of fights for you. So let's first see if we can find ourselves an opponent. There we go. Alright, so as our starter, we are of course using Bartgall. And it looks like we're up against Asha today. Let's hit that shuffle button a couple more times for superstition's sake. And draw our first hand. Okay, sweet. Wingull Brave. We're going second. We get Wingull Brave. That's wonderful. I'd say in this kind of situation, you just sort of... Perhaps I'll keep the Wingull Brave. The second Wingull Brave, rather. And, we already drew MLB. Of course, remember to be a good sport to your opponents. If they say good luck, have fun, wish them good luck in return. It's only the right thing to do. They're going to start off by writing Padmini and activating her skill. Do they see the Asha? Looks like they didn't. Which, you know, is a lucky break for us. We stand and draw. Ooh, Starcall Trumpeter. We are actually perfectly set up for MLB right now. Because if push comes to shove... Or sorry, I've mixed up Starcall Trumpeter with old school Starcall Trumpeter. We are not set up for MLB yet. We still need Blaster Dark. And to that end, I think I'll call a second Wingull Brave to boost the first, which will force the opponent to either drop more cards on guarding this, or we're going to get to look at the top 7 cards for a Blaster twice. Also, with Wingull Brave behind the Vanguard, that means every single turn we're going to have this on-hit pressure. And if we... No pass. They guarded us no pass to avoid us seeing Blaster Dark. Luckily, though, with Wingull Brave behind the Vanguard, as I was saying, the Blaster Blade or Starcall that we're going to ride, we're probably going to ride Blaster Blade because why not? It goes ahead and gets us Blaster Blade and Soul. In fact, MLB only just needs to put 2 rear guards into the Soul to get 2 force markers. Which is kind of bonkers when you think about it. Arboros. Let's see here. So he rides Timber, calls a second Timber to call an upgraded plant token, and then calls Padmini to search for another grade 3. Do we see Asha this time? Ooh, our opponent whiffs 2 Padminis. In response to the first plant token attack, we're going ahead and using our Quick Shield to buff our Wingull Brave by 5,000 power. Arboros, no guard. Can't believe I typed that twice. Damage check. As soon as Kara gets off our screen, it's time for my damage check. There goes one of our Blaster Blades, which is rather unfortunate. But yeah, because MLB just has to put 2 rear guards into Soul and not specifically Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark, it doesn't matter how early or late you get that Blaster Blade into Soul. To avoid taking further damage here, we'll call the Flogel we damage checked so as to not reveal that we have another critical trigger in hand. That's some advice for newer players who might be looking into getting into the game, especially with the MLB special set. The plant token has intercept, right? Yeah, it has boost and intercept. So I think what we need to do is take out the plant token. Blaster Blade skill. We counterblast one. And also Soul Blast one. And in exchange, we shall retire the 10,000 power plant token. Because golly gee, are those things disgusting. Is there anything else we can do on this turn? No, but OP is gonna need a counterblast on their grade 3 turn, so they better take this. Sweet. Drive check. Draw trigger. I've opted to play Draw Sentinels in this deck, as it is very piece reliant. You need to see your combo pieces quickly. Speaking of combo pieces, the Blaster deck has a special order card that if you have Blaster Blade, you can search Blaster Dark. If you have Blaster Dark, you can search Blaster Blade. And if you have both, you can search MLB. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I already saw we do have the Blaster Dark. So we add the Blaster Dark and shuffle the rest of the cards back into our deck. I'm only playing 3 copies of the order card as I want to show I want to show a deck where you aren't required to buy multiple of the MLB special set. We don't even know the price point for it in English. We assume it'll be around 30 like a Legend deck, but it's possible that maybe, just maybe, this one time, we will get all the special bips and bods that come with it. Like the deck case, which if you guys haven't seen it yet, the MLB special set deck case isn't even one of the regular plastic ones. It looks wonderful. A Ranunculus Flower Maiden Asha on the Vanguard. So she's going to call 2 plant tokens. And then she'll likely retire 2 of them and the Padmini or the Arboros. Or she could just call another filler card from her hand to call an Asha's Flower Fairy token. And the Asha's Flower Fairy token gains power and critical until it matches the Asha Vanguard. Now, Maiden of Sweetberry, if placed, you can just call a plant token for free. This thing is... So, who would have thought it would be a rare? A rare would be the card to power creep Sylvia. How big is this plant token swinging for? 18? 18, we would just need a 10k guard. But we don't have that, so we will actually just take it. Just take this one. And then my plan is to perfect guard, dropping... My plan is to perfect guard, dropping Blaster Dark. And then that way, we can call Starcall Trumpeter and add the Blaster and the... and then we can add the Blaster from the graveyard, or the drop zone, my apologies. So we will perfect guard, discarding Blaster Dark, and then since we will have knowledge of just exactly how big the Asha's Flower Fairy token will be on attack, we will know for certain that we can hard guard it. Yes, so then we can guard with Future Night Lu. And that is 25. That beats out the 23 of the Asha's Flower Fairy token. Now we will stand and draw. ride Majesty Lord Blaster and get an imaginary gift, Force 1. We're taking Force 1 because it will progressively make our attacks larger and larger, and that way we can avoid the very common issue where you have all these crits on your Vanguard, but you're only hitting for a piddly 18, it's whatever. So we're just going to start powering up MLB and proceed to our main phase where we will call Star Call Trumpeter. Star Call skill, we Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. We will Soul Blast Bartgall this time so that we can keep Blaster Blade in our soul. And because you can resolve as much of the skill as possible, even though we don't have the order card in our graveyard, we can still add the Blaster Dark back to our hand. So in addition, we will call the Blaster Dark, and we will switch Blaster Dark and Star Call because Star Call has just gained boost. On top of that, because it's not because it's not exactly necessary to rewrite in order to get additional force markers in this deck, we will call the other Majesty Lord Blaster because he will have the extra critical when he's on Vanguard or when he's on Rearguard Circle as well. We won't use the order card yet because we don't. Well, might as well exchange the order card for extra shield value. Actually, we'll go ahead and play. When Light and Darkness intersect to add a Blaster Blade because we control Blaster Dark. See, this card basically just says it's a Blaster Blade or Blaster Dark anyway, so we might as well just go ahead and take the shield value over all else. Now, upon entering the battle phase, Blaster Dark will go ahead and attack the Asha's Flower Fairy token. The token. Allow me to click on the token, please. Thank you. This costs OP a 10,000 shield from their hand. And now, we're going to attack Asha with Blaster Dark, with Majesty Lord Blaster. Skill. I'm trying to type skill. Blaster Dark and Star Call Trumpeter to the soul. To gain... Yes, activate Majesty Lord Blaster. It's so funny how, like, they specifically list the text as activate the skill of Majesty Lord Blaster and then give you one force marker. And then here's a marker for you. First check. Laurel Knight Sisylis, which would have been used to search this Majesty Lord Blaster if we weren't so luckily blessed by drawing it so early on. Second check, Heal Trigger, power to the Rearguard Majesty Lord. And then we recover 1 damage. And third check, because we have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in the soul, which is simply a Star Call Trumpeter. Now, unfortunately, our opponent checks a heal trigger. They will only... Now, it's very important that I put some thought into our next attack, because we could swing Majesty Lord Blaster at the Asha's Flower Fairy token, and that would force either 25,000 shield or 3 rear guards out of my opponent. And I think that is actually the smartest play right now, is to go ahead and attack Asha's Flower Fairy. See? We forced a lot of shield out of our opponent's hand very quickly. Now check this out. Majesty Lord Blaster gains 5,000 power forever. That includes on the opponent's turn. You are... Asha has a critical attached to her. We will no guard this because we are running short on Counterblast. And we can push much harder next turn if we have Counterblast to work with. I didn't think about Discord notifications on screen. Me and editing, black that out. Well, like I said, that 5,000 shield will come in handy. We forgot to search off of Wingall Brave, and that is entirely my fault. We will guard with Sisylis because we want to keep Starcall Trumpeter for our offense next turn. Although, I'm not against the idea of seeing a third MLB to have a third crit on it. Another Starcall. Let's proceed to our main phase and call Starcall Trumpeter. Skill of Starcall. Since we placed another Starcall into Soul last turn, we still have a card to Soul Blast. And this time, we can add Blaster Blade and Crossing Engrave. Call Blaster Blade. And we will use Blaster Blade's skill to get rid of an Asha's Flower Fairy. Because we're just going to suck this Blaster Blade into Soul. And gain 2 force markers. So then we'll use our order card to search Blaster Dark, because again, getting additional shield into hand is incredibly worthwhile. Proceeding to the battle phase, Blaster Blade will attack the Asha's Flower Fairy token. Because the more times we put pressure on these tokens, the more difficult it's going to be for the opponent to justify guarding the tokens. MLB. Once again, place Blaster Blade and Starcall Trumpeter into the Soul. And then shift left mouse for 2 force markers. Placing 1 more force marker on the Vanguard. I think any more than that is kind of overkill, actually. And the other force marker will, of course, go on the rear guard Majesty Lord Blaster, who has a critical attached to him. That's a no guard from our opponent. So first check. CV. That's 3 crits. Can we check another crit? CV. And if our opponent checks a heal here, then we still have Wingall Brave to give ourselves a search. Ooh, that's the first damage check. The second, they check a draw trigger. Our opponent just quit. They just quit. So everyone, that is the power behind Majesty Lord Blaster. Okay, they didn't check that heal after all. But that's the power behind Majesty Lord Blaster, is that you can consistently set up critical after critical, and then in addition, you're running 8 crits in your deck, and progressively your power just gets higher and higher. Even from the gate at turn 3, you can just stack 3 force markers on top of your Vanguard while you're swinging for a crit.